Hey, it's Rich back with you for another video. I'm with a 2022 Cessna 172S. Skyhawks are the most popular general aviation aircraft of all time. We're going to take this one up for a ride, take you along with us.
Clear takeoff, 26 left, 6 Quebec Tango. We're just going left turn to the river. Here we go.
Number 37, X-ray for traffic, make a right 360. Right 360, 37, Number 66 Alpha, hold east of runway 30 for traffic. Number 2 Quebec Foxtrot, I missed your intentions. I'm sorry, disregard that. November 6 Quebec Tango, I missed your intentions.
Just a left turn out of the pattern over the river.
Number 6 Quebec Tango, roger.
Okay, we're in the turn southbound, 6 Quebec Tango.
Number 594, base 605 freeway for traffic.
That helps.
Cleared wide.
Okay, climbing off of Long Beach on a crosswind departure
Number 66 Alpha, continue
to the south in this 2022 Cessna 172S Skyhawk. As I mentioned in the intro, kind of a amazing airplane. It's got a lot of history since it started in 1956. I think it's factual that it's the most produced airplane of all time in general aviation. I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 40-some thousand, 44,000 total. And probably trained more pilots, private pilots, you know, than any airplane. I don't know that for a fact, but I would guess it's probably the truth. And it's in production today. Obviously, this airplane was delivered new this year. It has about 250 hours on it or so. And it's evolved over time. There was a lot of iterations in the early days of the 172s. And this 172S has been in production since probably about 2001. After they restarted them in 2006, they went to the 180 horsepower engine and then started the S model. I don't think they make the R anymore, which was the same airplane with 160 horsepower. So really, you can't say enough about Skyhawk. Cessna sometimes takes some criticism that they haven't changed the design of these airplanes in years. And, you know, I think the idea is it's such a great trainer, on-purpose design that's been successful for all these years. Great safety record, reliable, durable, all those things for an entry-level pilot. You know, why change it? Now, they've made some nice upgrades with fuel-injected motors and G1000 and the way they corrosion-proof them and a lot of things they've changed to make them, you know, state-of-the-art from that perspective. But the overall design is the same, and I can't really criticize them because it's a great design for a trainer. I mean, it's and flying this airplane, you can see why it's such a great airplane. One other thing to mention in the volume, when we talk about these airplanes, the volume of airplanes built over the last, I think since Cessna restarted production, they built, that was in 1996, so 96 to 2022 they built maybe around 5,000 total. And I was looking at some numbers, historical records, and I think in 1977, 78, 79, they built roughly the same amount of airplanes volume-wise in those 3 years as they have from 1996 to 2022. So that tells you how much general aviation has, you know, production has been cut back, which is pretty significant. When you look at available airplanes, you know, we just haven't had high production of general aviation airplanes in a long time. Anyway, that's a little history on this airplane. This one's for sale, G1000. It has ADS-B in and out, GFC 700 autopilot, It's got terrain, it's got, I think it has XM. It's just loaded. And very low time. I think if you want to buy a new Skyhawk from the factory, you can't get one probably for a couple years. I don't know what the actual wait time is. It would surprise me if it'd be 2024 sometime. So we're going to put this airplane through a couple of private pilot maneuvers. Everybody's seen a Skyhawk. Maybe you haven't flown a brand new one like this, but we're going to do a couple of private pilot maneuvers and then go back into the VFR pattern and land. One of the things you do on a private pilot's license is you have to demonstrate a stall recovery and at the first indication of a stall, we don't put it into a deep stall and then recover. But I'm going to go ahead and do a full stall. And I'm going to use flaps 20 degrees and pull the power off. We've already cleared the area. We're looking good. There's no traffic. Actually, there is traffic, but we're in good shape from him. So all I'm really doing is just taking the power off, hold my heading straight and level, and let the airplane decelerate. And when it stalls, I'm going to keep holding it and just do a real nice, easy, gradual recovery. There's a stall warning. I don't hear that. It gets louder, I still don't hear it. Louder, louder, louder. There's the stall. Really, you can just let go of a Skyhawk. I haven't done anything with my feet, just kind of let go. And it recovers. Only lost about 300
Traffic,
feet.
11 o'clock.
So that tells you how gentle the Skyhawk stalls. And let's do one more just to kind of show you how this recovery works. Make sure that traffic's not in their way here. Put a little bank into it. There's a little extra noise I think I've ever heard before. Okay, there's the stall, and I just let go. Pitch it down pretty far. It's going to gain some speed, and then it's going to pitch up. And it's going to go into this parabola thing where it just goes like that, down until it finally goes down. But anyway, a very gentle stall in the Skyhawk. All right, flaps up, we're going to power up, we're going to climb back to 3,000. We'll do a steep turn. On the way up, we're going to climb at 75 knots. That's a constant airspeed climb. And we do that with pitch, and just hold pitch for 75. That's VY. No better airplane to learn the basics of flying than in a Skyhawk, that's for sure. Now, some people might argue with that. There are some new trainers. Diamond's got the DA-40. Cirrus has got the SR-20. But nowhere close to the popularity, number of pilots, number of airplanes, that type of thing. All right, so here comes 3,000. Got a little slow on my constant airspeed climb. And I'm going to bring my RPM back to 2,200 or so, level off at 3,000. Get nice and trimmed out. There's 2,200 RPM, there's 3,000 feet, clearing to the left, make sure there's nobody out there. I'm gonna roll into a 45-degree bank turn. Holding altitude. You can do these real easy with this big primary flight display and put the airplane right on the horizon line. I'd like to do a private pilot check ride or a commercial pilot check ride in a Skyhawk because it's so easy to make a nice, level, steep turn. Roll it out. Beautiful. What a treat to fly. Okay, we're going to take it back. Again, just to reemphasize, this airplane is for sale. We're going to put a price on this because we haven't set the price. It hasn't hit the market yet. But we're going to put that on the screen here. This is a like-new 2022 Cessna 172S, fully equipped with the Garmin avionics package, probably lots of warranty remaining on it, and don't expect it to last long. I think this late model Skyhawk demand is still pretty high. So anyway, if you're interested, give us a call or check it out on the website, and look forward to talking to you. These 172s have a really cool history. You know, 1956 they started.
11 o'clock, same
and
altitude,
they
1 mile.
have been produced, as I mentioned, you know, throughout. Only 10 years where they did produce them, and they've been used in probably pretty much every corner of general aviation. Military, law enforcement, obviously training. People use them for cross-country airplanes. You can find them in pretty much any application in general aviation. I think some of them, Reams partnered with Cessna. I believe Reams produced some 172 Skyhawks out of France. And there's just a lot of cool facts about this airplane over the years. I think originally Skyhawk was a trim package. In other words, like, you know, you could add some radios or maybe some interior, and it was called the Skyhawk trim. And they eventually adopted the name Skyhawk for the airplane. That was pretty early on, I think. I recall when I worked at Cessna, looking at some history, I think the marketing department, they were making the Cessna 170, and I believe the marketing department wanted to go with a tricycle gear versus a tail wheel airplane, and engineering people didn't want that to happen, so the marketing people took an airplane and had their own little skunk works and put a nose wheel on it to make it a tricycle gear, and eventually that evolved into the Skyhawk. You know, they had some cool names for the landing gear initially, because it was marketed as much easier to land. They called it the Land-O-Matic landing gear. They had the Nav-O-Matic, I think, maybe autopilot. They had when they put the rear windows in or made it bigger, I don't remember which one it was, they called it the OmniVision rear window. And just some really cool history. I've got a lot of old historical information on these airplanes. It's fun to look at pricing. Back when I worked at Cessna and we sold the first Skyhawks in 1996, the base model was under $100,000, and the equipped model was, I think, $140,000. And I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I delivered the first new 172 off the production line in 1996 to, I think it was actually early 97, to AOPA. They bought the first new Skyhawk and they gave it away as part of their sweepstakes. And I was lucky enough to deliver that airplane. I remember it was a really cold day. Phil Boyer was president of AOPA back then, and I flew around the patch with him a couple times on the delivery flight. So anyway, a few fun little facts about Skyhawks. So we're not going to do an ILS. This airplane obviously is fully capable of an ILS, but we're going to do a VFR traffic pattern entry to a full stop, like
doing some water work over the water,
like you do in the primary flight training. Learn how to fly this thing VFR before you fly it IFR.
26 right, clear land.
So we're going to join the left traffic for 26 left
Extend downwind.
in 45-degree entry over Signal Hill.
Hold for release, waiting on SoCal.
Fuel's on both. Go ahead, put the mixture up. Flaps are up. We got the lights where we want them. Seatbelts are on. All of their standard checks. By the way, this airplane has electronic checklist now too on the G1000. Airbag seatbelts. The people that originally came out with a Skyhawk, engineering, marketing, all the people at Cessna, I'm sure could never have imagined. In the year 2022, you could still buy a brand new one. It looked pretty much the same. And all these upgrades were inconceivable back then.
40, roger. November 6, Quebec Tango, extend downwind. Traffic will depart runway 30.
We'll extend the downwind, 6 Quebec Tango. I'm going to put 10 degrees of flaps in. I haven't landed a Skyhawk in a while. I think I have. I think the last time I flew it was with you when we did that.
That's right.
That was your first time. You landed pretty good, if I recall.
Number 6 Quebec Tango, base approved, runway 26 left, clear to land.
Turn to base, clear to land, 26 left, 6 Quebec Tango.
Long Beach Tower, Cessna, or Seminole 212.
So there's 70 knots.
Left at the other river.
I'm going to get a little further in here, and then I'm going to put flaps full. Mixture's rich, flaps, gear, or fuel, everything looks good.
Tower helicopter 1 after request, left close traffic, path 3.
Okay, here comes flaps to full.
November 66 Alpha, pad 3, clear for takeoff.
Pad 3, clear for takeoff. November 166 Alpha.
And that radio is barely readable. If you have another one, it'll help.
From 66 Alpha?
66 Alpha.
Copy that.
26 X-ray, standby.
Roger, 26 X-ray.
This is called aero braking. Where you don't use your brakes and we're using drag to slow the airplane down.
I never knew that.
All right, we're back at the ramp here at OCR. Hope you enjoyed the flight in this brand new, or like new Skyhawk 172S. And it was a lot of fun for me to take this thing out and do a little flying. It's a great airplane and a lot of history. Can't go wrong buying a Skyhawk, that's for sure. Thanks for watching.
Left for 6